and reflected in her citizenship, Canadian. Penning for peace is her passion. Africa is her muse. She has performed in Canada and abroad. This evening, Evelyn will be accompanied by Marie, who is an active pianist and keyboardist who enjoys many musical styles, including classical, folk, and jazz. As an accompanist and member of musical ensembles, she has performed in numerous benefit concerts in the Ottawa area. Marie is also an accomplished painter and interior decorator, but tonight she will limit her art to her piano. So please welcome Marie and Evelyn.
See, this is how it That's all right. Thank you. Good evening, everybody. Thank you for joining us. And we're very happy to be joining you. And congratulations to all the people involved in the Peace Festival and in peace work. I guess, as was said earlier, everybody has their own creativity. And I think in our own lives, we all have our own way of contributing to peace. Can you imagine pointing a gun at a child, let alone forcing a child at gunpoint to lead killers to raid his home? Sad but true for captured child soldiers in northern Uganda. A working trip to the region in 2004 tore these words from me as I tried to put myself in the child's bare feet. Lament of the child soldier. In the barrel of my gun, is the heart of a mother. And in my heart, like a distant shadow, my yearning for childhood. Child, I do not know. I think I left that journey many years ago. Or is it only days since I was torn in screaming darkness from my mother's arms, from sun-drenched corn and cattle song to the seductive power of the gun. What am I now is in the dark. I lead the killers to my home. Am I child? Man? Beast? I no longer know. What to think, what to feel, I no longer know. In the barrel of my gun is the heart of a mother. And in my heart, like a distant shadow, my longing for love. Which is stronger, the shadow in my heart or the fear of my captors? My trigger finger hovers. As mentioned, Marie is versed in many musical styles, so I gave her free rein to reinterpret my words. Let's see what she does with the following piece. It was written in 2004 in response to the US invasion of Iraq, despite unprecedented protests around the world. Many of you remember the helplessness we felt as we watched the bombs rain down in shock and awe. The same sense of helplessness I now feel about the terrifying implications of the election across the border. And in the face of such emotions, only words on paper can prevent my otherwise certain meltdown. Alice bin Wonderland, or the Mad Hatter's Boston Tea Party with special guests. From Boston tea gladness, McCarthy time madness to Osama bin badness and Bush era rashness, sadness, we try to make sense of the mess that we're in. Seeking reprieve, we try to retrieve the hat from the mirror, the rabbit within, to see if indeed we've learned anything. And there, all the while, near Trade Center towers, near bombs in the desert like firework showers, the mother still comforts her child. Hush, little baby, don't you cry. Mama's going to sing you a lullaby. For my part, I just want to know where Alice hid the card. You know, the card with the clue to what we could do in this topsy, been turvy, been saviour, been scurvy, been world, me and you. Must the cups all be empty and breaking, and gee, must the shards tear our flesh? All we want is some tea. That bothers me. Tell me, where will it all end? In this Osama bin Laden, bin Bushton, bin Harden, bin holding my breath, been domino theoried and brainwashed to death world that we're in. Oh, where will it end when there's clearly enough, some would say, an excess of stuff for all of our needs? In this topsy, bin turvy, bin saviour, bin scurvy, bin world that we're in? Will it end in the breaking of bread, regardless of creed? And maybe, just maybe, according to need? And there, all the while, near Trade Center towers, near bombs in the desert, like firework showers, the mother still comforts her child. Hush, little baby, don't you cry. Mama's going to sing you a lullaby. As I said earlier, Marie was free to reinterpret my words musically, and I wondered in particular what she would do with the following piece. Would she reflect the contradictions I see between the value of faith and the scourge of dogma? The faith that can uplift and the dogma that can destroy, especially by those who justify conflict in the name of peaceful religions. And how would Marie express the complex sorrows that prompted these words? Did you know that every drop of water in this world is eternally recycled? And did you know that there's never been one drop more of water or one drop less of water since time immemorial? Truly, it is the same water that eternally falls as rain in one place, evaporates again, and falls as rain somewhere else. The same water, eternally recycled through us, around us, between us, for millennia. Given this, then surely within my tears and yours, somewhere are the tears of Christ, of Muhammad, of Moses, weeping with us as they contemplate the blood of our children splattered in their names. I volunteer with the Civilian Peace Service Canada, an organization familiar to many of you. One that promotes peace as a profession which, as we like to say, is for professionals with a certain kind of courage, the courage to wage peace. Professionals who know the language of peace and how to use it powerfully. I'm not there. My language is too prone to protest, as I was reminded by a recent exchange with my friend Geri. One day, a young man shoots an unarmed soldier because he feels he has nothing left to lose and nothing left to gain. The soldier's mother weeps. The young man's mother weeps. And Geri says, so much sadness, so much pain. It just makes me want to love more. Only weeks before, the same young man begged for help to save him from his shelter-dwelling life of petty crimes and drugs. Instead, he now lies dead beside the soldier. The soldier's mother weeps. The young man's mother weeps. Terrorist, you say. Therapy, I say. And shame on those who neglect our needy youth. And Geri says, so much sadness, so much pain. It just makes me want to love more. Secretly itching to settle scores, a high school kid receives his, quote, best gift ever, unquote, a high-powered rifle. Within weeks, he shoots and kills his cousins, friends, and self at school. The young teen's mother weeps. His victims' mothers weep. So little left to lose, so little left to gain. Shame on those who gift a child a gun, I say. Shame on those who blame the gun, they say. And Geri says, so much sadness, so much pain. It just makes me want to love more. Before the Serbian War, Albanians in the Kosovo province of Serbia were only allowed to walk on certain streets. After the war, the Serbian minority in the independent nation of Kosovo potentially faced similar discrimination. Instead, Kosovo has managed to overcome the worst of such prejudice. And in 2001, I witnessed one tiny step towards this reconciliation. A little orphanage set up to raise Serbian and Albanian children under the same roof, together. One child's reaction on her first day will stay with me forever. Wherein lies the heart of Kosovo? Surely it's in that newly painted refuge where orphan children, Serbian and Albanian, once torn apart by war, are given another chance at childhood. It is where the emaciated urchin asks in disbelief, "I can choose my own bed? My very own bed?" Her stick-like arms pet and stroke the frame in wonder. Her shaven head bends to kiss the sheet. "My bed," she says at last. "I choose you to be my bed." Therein lies the heart of Kosovo. Our final offering celebrates peace workers and their efforts to prevent war. And in that context, again, thank you to all of you that are doing that work. Imagine how easy it is to quantify the cost of war. Bombed out homes, shattered offices, broken bridges. But how do you quantify the savings from a war that was never fought? One that was never fought because you prevented it. How do you measure what it might have cost? Especially when the negotiations to maintain peace usually work best behind closed doors. This is a dilemma faced by peace builders. How do they prove it? Lives otherwise unlived. These words are for you, my love, and all those others whose work prevents the gun from ever firing. How do you count the children never wounded because the gun was never fired? And how do you catch the tears unshed because the gun was never fired? The legs, the arms, the hands, the brains that never splattered cribs and wards and shrines. The eyes that see, the minds at rest. Because the gun was never fired. The songs now sung because the gun was never fired. And you, my love, still here beside me because the gun was never fired.
Wasn't that wonderful? Last night we had a strangest dream. Well, we've had three wonderful, wonderful artists sharing their